What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cece. Every day is a gift, and I'm so grateful you decided to spend part of that gift here with me today. In today's video, I just kind of wanted to do like a spring has sprung chat, motivational kind of reminder of our New Year's goals to get you guys back on track and inspired as summer is around the corner. You're going to speak it into existence. This is your glow up summer. I want more than anything for you to achieve your goals, to push yourself, and to see what you're capable of. So I just have a few tips and tricks and things I wanted to recommend and talk with you guys about. Have you use this as a guide for inspiration or whenever you're lacking motivation? One of my first tips, you guys, if we're going to have a glow up summer, if we are going to glow up this summer and have the best time of our lives and be happy with ourselves and confident in ourselves, one of my first tips, you guys, this is a huge tip and it's something that I've changed this year compared to how I was operating, I'd say towards the end of last year, is mastering my mornings. Okay, you guys, this is huge. Mastering your mornings is so big. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., but what you need to have more than anything is a morning routine that puts your mind in a great state for the day. This is so important. It is very, very important for you to do this. I've implemented a few things. I think I'm gonna do a full video on my morning routine that have literally just changed the trajectory of the way I feel during the day, the way I feel about waking up, and the way that I operate and go through day to day and do my tasks. And that seems like such a little thing, but the way you start your day has a lot of power, and I think we need to tap into that and remember and actually take advantage of that and use it to our benefits. This has literally been something so transformative for me this year, and it just really starts with being very intentional about the things you're doing in the morning. So this for me is avoiding my phone, you guys. I don't get on my phone at all in the morning. I really minimize my time as much as possible. I'm definitely not getting on social media. I use the Opal app to block all of my social media apps, all my gaming apps until about noon. So the entire morning, whether I'm working from home or I was, working in the store, I would not have access to those apps until noon. So they're literally not even an option for me to tap into in the morning. I think it's really, really important for the state of our mind not to wake up in a state of comparison or seeing what everyone else is doing on their highlight reel. I find that very, very, very important, especially as we get more and more tied to screens. I think having that boundary is really important. Avoiding negative energy. That's something that I really avoid in the morning. Like, I really don't like watching the news in the morning. The only news I see sometimes is at the gym, and I absolutely hate it because every day it's about a shooting or someone got kidnapped, and it's like, I get it. I get that it's important to be aware and in the loop with some things, but starting your morning like that, I'm like, dog, it's 7 a.m. Like, I don't want to hear about the lady shooting or they genuinely, I can feel my energy and my mood dragging down, and I think about the perpetual state of that and day to day, how that can build up. I'm not saying completely stay out of the loop. I just think maybe save your consumption of the news till the afternoon. You don't want to start your mornings off like that. One last thing I'm going to say that I really like to do in the mornings is affirmations. I listen to some on YouTube. There are free affirmations pretty much everywhere on the internet. You don't need to pay for affirmations. You can even create your own affirmations, but affirming to myself that I am enough. Today is going to be a good day. I'm in charge of my feelings, and today I feel joy. Those little, it seems so little. That message that you're repeating to yourself every single morning, it starts to take root. It changes the way you feel and it changes the way you move as a human being. So mastering your mornings will be transformative. That's a hill I'll probably die on. And again, this doesn't mean waking up at 5 a.m. This means that whatever time you have in the morning, maybe give yourself another extra 15 or 20 minutes to do a few handful of things that really put you in a great state to start the day. So my second tip is going to be create 1 or 2 non-negotiables. So this is obviously geared towards fitness, but this can really apply to any area of your life. This is really something where you have to know yourself, okay? Because you don't want to have your non-negotiables be this really hard, far-fetched thing that is really hard for you to fit into your schedule. You kind of want it to be a small win that you can have every single day that's going to just keep that wheel turning and put votes towards the person you're trying to become. So that could be as simple as just making sure you're hydrating every single day. And don't compromise on that, okay? This for me right now is, I have like a couple of non-negotiables that I've kind of worked my way up to, but right now I'm getting 9,000 steps 4 times a week. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm making the time. I was out today and it was 30 degrees outside, getting my steps in because that was a promise that I made to myself. A second non-negotiable that I have right now and I've been focusing a lot on is going to bed at night at a decent time. It's earlier than I want. I'm very honest with you guys. Like, I would love to stay up until 10, 10:30, and it doesn't seem that late, but when you wake up early, I wake up around 5 some days when I'm hitting the gym before work. 9 p.m., it's the time. I'm literally yawning at 8 p.m. My body is like sending me these cues that it is time to wind down for bed, and I like to honor my body and give it that rest. So that's another non-negotiable that I have going on in my life. 1 or 2 things, you keep the list small, but I also think if you can have a moment to sit with yourself, make these things, what's the word? make it two things that are very impactful in your life. For me, sleep, I don't want to say is everything, but sleep is so important. I'm just a huge advocate for sleeping, and I think that rest is something that doesn't need to be earned. I think that everyone needs adequate rest. For me, if I don't get enough sleep, it affects my mood, it affects the way I eat, I get tired, I get cranky, and my hangry is on a whole nother level, and I'm craving carbs because I need that energy that it's gonna give me. So that's why it is a non-negotiable for me, and there has this cascading effect if I don't get sleep. But if I do get sleep and I'm consistently rested, then that cascade is ascending and it's positive trajectory versus negative trajectory, which is my third tip, okay? You have to be realistic with yourself. It is so important that you are realistic with yourself, and this really comes from knowing yourself, knowing your pain points, and this really requires a lot of reflection and self-awareness, because you don't want to build anything that's not sustainable. In the game of fitness, it really should be a game of longevity. You want to build sustainable habits for you. That's why I still work out, but I work out less than I used to work out, but I'm making up for it by having steps, because that's realistic for my lifestyle right now. I just don't have the energy to output to be lifting heavy at the gym 6 days a week anymore. I don't have that anymore. Really take stock of what your life is realistically, okay? And if you want to make, for example, your non-negotiable going to the gym, okay? If you haven't been to the gym in a while, let's not start going 5 days a week, okay? Let's start with 2 days a week. Non-negotiable, 2 days a week, or whatever that looks. It can be 1 day a week, you guys. It doesn't need to be this massive thing. It can be going on daily walks. It can be doing a stretch in your room. It doesn't need to be this massive thing. Create a routine that you're happy to do, that you're happy to take part of, and that feels good for you. So in a lot of these things, it seems like little, but it really requires knowing yourself and using those introspective thoughts and feelings and information that you're gathering from, you know, what you've experienced and the way you show up for yourself or don't show up for yourself, to really sit down and build goals based on that. That is the way to build sustainable goals, okay? You have to have that introspection. You have to really truly see where you're at, like from an objective perspective. You never want to go do too much too fast. I find that that's like something I also struggle with. Doing too much too fast, nothing sticks, okay? Because I'm going from 0 to 100 and I cannot maintain that 100, okay? So maybe go from 0 to 25, maintain that 25, okay? Well, let's go to 35, but build on that. Don't just go 0 to 100. This is my final tip of this video. It's trying to keep it compact and impactful, but I want you to build a routine that fits into your schedule, okay? I understand that you're watching me right now. I'm sure you watch other fitness influencers and other people online, other content creators online, and I love that for you and I love that for them. But you need to build a routine that's realistic for your life, okay? I used to have way more free time than I do right now. I'm going into a full job starting next week. I'm working the full 40 hours a week. It makes no sense for me to aspire to have a morning routine that ends at 10 a.m., okay? When I have to work at 8. That logistically does not make sense. So really take a step back from the information overload online and just literally just look at your life, okay? Outside of the frame of or influence of other people and other things, think about what fits for your life, okay? If you have 2 hours in the morning, okay, then you need to maximize that time. We're not all gonna have the 3, 4, 5, 6 hour morning routines, okay? The day-to-day average citizen, like we just don't have that time anymore. Okay, I think that finding a routine that fits into your schedule versus having your schedule fit into your routine is a better fit, and it makes way more sense and it'll feel easier when you're actually doing it. So, but don't look for inspiration to these other people online whose lifestyle is not fitting or aligned with where you're at in your fitness journey right now. And I love, you know, watching a wide variety of YouTubers doing all kinds of crazy things. But I think that we need to take more personal accountability for our own lives. It's nice to have people to look up to, but the information overload can be overwhelming, and I think that focusing on what feels good and what's actually good for us, I think would be way more impactful than trying to squeeze this 4 or 5 hour routine into the 2 hours you have in the morning. So this kind of tees back up to mastering your mornings. I really wanted to make this video for you guys to remember you are worth the time, you are worth the commitment, you are worth all the energy that you pour into yourself. Your goals and aspirations, they are worth time, they are worth effort, you are worth energy. I want you to know that more than anything. But that energy and stuff, that starts with you. That starts with you putting it into yourself. More of a nugget. The promises you make to and keep to yourself are everything. They're so much more impactful than you can even begin to imagine. But the thing about keeping promises to yourself is just to you, right? So you think it's okay to just like let it fly and let it pass. No one's gonna know, just you. But it affects you so much. Not keeping the promises to yourself, not doing things you said you were gonna do. I said I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna pour into myself and I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm going to take a walk. And when you don't do those things, the mental impact it has on you, it's not very good.
Do you think the greatest consequence in life is not keeping commitments to yourself? I think it compounds as personal evidence, which is deposited in this instruction manual of who you are and how you behave and how you show up and what you're capable of. All those tiny little commitments. And then I think you can get into a downward commitment spiral because of that. You don't have faith in anything you do. And this causes a downward spiral. So isn't it really lovely to know that maybe the way to turn that into a positive upward reinforcing spiral is just keep that tiny commitment you made to yourself today? Like, you don't have to move Mount Everest. You don't need to go on a 7-day ayahuasca retreat. How about when you said you were going to get in bed at 10 p.m, you do that. And you stack those things for a week. Honestly, I've seen it in my friends and their lives have changed. The commitments we keep to ourselves, if we say those are the most important things for compounding that evidence in our favor, everybody can start there today. Yesterday's out of play, but the next thing you do in the next hour, can you keep that commitment to yourself? I think life is much more simple than we often make out.
The last thing I want to leave you with, everything that you do, every action that you should take should be votes towards the person you're going to become. You're in the process of becoming, okay? You can appreciate who you were in the past and maybe who you were this past winter, while simultaneously striving to do and be better, because that's what you want for yourself. And that's just the chapter that we're entering now. So that's it, you guys. Those are my few little tips. Hopefully you guys found a few things helpful within this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up because that supports me and my channel, which I'm so appreciative of. And of course, subscribe for more content. If you're not interested in subscribing, that's okay. I'm glad that our paths have crossed. Maybe I'll see you next time. But thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.